Hey everyone, this is TG from ToyGander.com, and today we're going to review Merry Christmas minifigures. So let's go ahead and take a gander. Want to give a shout out to Josh Freeman, Solarman111, Cascade Roblox and more, Crazy Otter Joe 03, Craving Skate 05, and Tracy Davis. Here is a thumbs up to you. Thank you so much for watching Toy Gander. And guys, also check out Toy Gander Bricks. It's another channel that we started for some additional content for you guys to give a thumbs up and subscribe. Now onto the figures. First one we're going to open up is Traditional Santa, and if you guys are interested in getting any of these minifigures, be sure to check out ToyGander.com. I will put a link in the description. Here we have the regular old Santa Claus. A couple things to note here. I will say first thing that stands out is the nice vibrant print on the front torso here. Looks almost identical to Lego in that aspect. This is a knockoff, so there are a couple drawbacks. One thing that I noticed when putting him together is his beard doesn't quite fit on very easily. You have to kind of shove it in there to make it fit. So it's a very tight fit for the beard. And another thing that I noticed, his printing's great on his face. But when it comes to the hat is not dual molded. Instead, the hat is a solid white, and what they do is they paint the red over it, and it definitely shows because there's a little bit, missed right underneath where the crease is on the hat there. It's not hugely noticeable. Actually, the color blends very well. You can barely tell that this is not dual molded just from the front face look of it. But if you look up close, it does show up. Pretty basic. Let's move on to the next one. You can't have a Mr. Claus without a Mrs.Clause. Let's go ahead and open her up. The printing on this figure is really nice. Looking at the front torso and the bottom skirt piece, they use like a silver paint that kind of ties into these candy canes and goes all the way into the blouse. That really pops and makes the figure stand out. The front face looks pretty nicely printed, although there's like a little black dot there. I don't know if it's like a beauty mark or not, or just an imperfection, but the front face looks good. The back face looks kind of frumpy, and if you look at that, she just looks really mean and angry right here. And I mean, you live in the North Pole, like what do you have to be angry about? So I'm going to keep this hair over this one because I really don't like this side. And the hair piece is nicely done. It's a solid white, not painted like Santa. My issue with this figure, and I know Lego has the very similar thing with the official Legos that I have, but anytime they use this skirt piece, this triangle skirt piece, it kind of just flops off. And it's really noticeable because it's an off-brand Lego. It really barely hangs on there at all. So I think if I'm going to stand this character up, I'm just going to super glue this honestly down so it doesn't come off. And the paper cape's just it's very comparable to any superhero cape. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next up we have Mrs.Clause Harley Quinn. So there's some things that I like about this figure and some things that I dislike. And a lot of them just hold true from the individual design itself. Looking at the torso, and the main piece about this is the torso within these figures, because otherwise you could put a Christmas hat or a beard on any character. The main custom piece in this is actually the torso, and so it's basically like a Santa coat that's over the normal figure. This one right here, and it just says Daddy's Little Monster, and they just put like a Santa overcoat on it. It's not a whole lot to it, but honestly it's done pretty nicely. It's a little bit lighter than I would have liked, but that custom piece on here, it looks good enough to where I would show it off compared to any of my other custom figures. It comes with a bat, comes with a Santa sack right here. Now some of the issues that I have really come from the feet right here. If you look closely at the feet, you'll notice that like in between right here, there's only a red, and normally like on this one, it'd be a red and a blue. So they just did white and red in this, and it just doesn't look quite right because the red's not fully done. So that's an issue. I do like the fact that the side printing's done better on this figure than this one. So as far as the face goes, they actually fixed the eyes. In this figure, for whatever reason, they put like brown eyes instead of black. They fixed that one. It looks like a much more crisper image. Nothing other than that, no back printing, but a very cool character and definitely a good addition to the Suicide Squad figures that I have. Next up, we have Santa Joker. So I will start off with the thing that I noticed the most, and that is the unfortunate pink chest. It just, they needed to put like 2 more coats on it, and I don't know why they didn't, because even like the ends of the Santa Claus coat, they look nice, bright and white. They're maybe a little bit faded, but the middle of it really showed up. It's unfortunate because this was one I was really looking forward to. This and the Deadpool one I was really wanting in the set. The print, it's one of the best actual Joker prints for the face, I think, on any of the characters, even including official Lego. And I'll show you the face on this one right here, if I can pull it off. So this is the Joker's face. And it looks really close to the actual Suicide Squad Joker, the Jared Leto Joker. And actually, they took a step further in here, because on this one, I think it says like lamaged on here. This one actually says damaged on there, so they fixed the incorrection that was on this one. The same thing with the Santa hat. It's no different than any of the other Santa hats. He comes with a dynamite accessory, and it just kind of looks like with this Santa sack, it looks like he has like a whole bag of dynamite. So it's a cool concept, an overall decent figure, but it really would have been top of the line if they would have put a little bit more white in the middle there. It would have definitely have looked better. Now we have Christmas Yoda. Here's Christmas Yoda, and he is just a fun character to look at. He's got this backpack right here, and he's got like these made-up presents in back. I'm glad that they included that, because if it was just a backpack, you'd be like, meh. But they included a couple of bricks that look like presents, and you can just imagine this tiny Yoda with his little walking stick, like trailing along the mountain, handing out presents to girls and boys. He's really a fun character. The printing on the front torso is not plagued by the same thing as the other ones. The other two that I just reviewed. It has just enough white to stand out and be bold. It really shows up nicely as a Santa Claus suit. Where they got a little sloppy is the white on the front, the custom head here. The white in the back is a little bit light, and they kind of got like slopped it on the side ear here. And the eyes aren't quite bright enough, or I definitely would like them a little bit brighter. But other than that, I really like this character, and I'm excited to see how the other Star Wars Christmas characters compare to this one. Here we have Santa C-3PO. One thing that's very different from the other Santa Claus, like coats, his is very rigid. Like just the bottom lines, the markings look very pointed, jagged. Even though like his belt goes straight across, it's not like a loop down or anything like that, which makes sense because he's a robot. He's very geometric. I love the look, and this looks really close to the traditional Lego. This is a knockoff Lego. This looks very close to what the traditional Lego looks like. It's probably the closest out of all of them so far. The printing's nice and bright. The leg printing's great. They even got the silver paint right here that they captured that accurately. The head is very close to what the original is, and even the brightness on his eyes shows up very well. He's got a picture of the Death Star, which I think the original one also came with. Very cool Lego, very good look. They really represented this one very nicely. Here we have Christmas Vader. Darth Vader celebrating Christmas is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, first off, who wants to receive a present from Darth Vader? There's probably like booby traps or I don't know, something deadly within this bag. I wouldn't want to receive one. And second of all, like, why is he celebrating Christmas? Look at that look. He just looks like a Grinch. Anyway, this is a very fun character. Same thing goes for the other ones, but this one stands out as the best one. They just he's included with a lot, and they really took some extra time with this. You could tell because they extended the robe from the top here all the way down to the legs. And usually when they do that, especially when they're painting a color over black, it shows up very dull, but I could tell they spent the extra time and put a few extra coats of paint on this one because it shows up vibrant enough to where if they didn't, it would look like absolute garbage. He has like a tactical belt or a utility belt that includes like these, I don't know, grenade presents or something along those lines, so that's really fun. And I like the way that they did this cowl, the silver cowl, over the robe instead of underneath it. It just completes the whole character, and when you put on the mask, it's iconic. Now this is the one I'm most excited about. This is the Santa Deadpool. Without a doubt, I am overwhelmingly thrilled with how this custom character turned out. He is overwhelmingly like authentic looking. They took the extra time to put in extra paint, to just go that extra mile to put in a few details that make the difference between an okay custom figure and a really good looking one. Like if you look in between the coat here, there's like a bandolier that goes across there. That's awesome. The belt is different than any other belt that we've seen, so it's a unique belt that goes across, and it really pops because there's a little bit of gold in the middle there, and it just makes it look authentic. They put his little his logo on his waistline. That's something they didn't have to do, but they included it. His feet look different, and they're actually very nicely done. I'm glad they didn't take the printing all the way to the bottom like some of the other figures, because sometimes that can look not as good. He does have a little bit of back printing, and it's on a slant on purpose because that's like his ammo bandolier there. The fact that he's like included with this bag right here makes you think that he's like stealing presents or something along those lines, and he has like this Uzi gun, which is just very fitting. I'm very happy with the printing on his face right here. Overall, I have to say that this is a fantastic character, and he really is like, it just seems complete. It's the quality of Lego. I don't ever think Lego would actually do a figure like this, but just the quality of this character is really high up on the scale, and if you guys are interested in getting this one, I definitely would recommend getting this one over. If you're going to get one, get this one over any of the other ones. Very cool. Here are all the characters shown together. Somewhere on the screen there is one character that is just not quite right. So the first person to find out which character that is and puts it in the comments below, guys, I will give that person a special shout out in the next video I do. Guys, I want to thank you so much for smashing down that like button, that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, you can help us take a gander.